Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to Dr. Samah and other friends. My name is Muhammad Amin bin Muhammad Asri. My metric card is D202010954949. Okay, today our group will present chapter 10, which is learning style. The term learning style speaks to the understanding that every student learns differently. Technically, an individual's learn style refers to the preferential way which the student absorbs, processes, comprehends, and retains information. For example, when learning how to build a clock, some students understand the process by following verbal instruction, while the other student will prefer physical manipulate the clock themselves. This notion of individualized learning style has gained widespread recognition in education theory and classroom management strategy. Individual learning style depend on cognitive, emotional, and environmental factors, as well as one parental experience. In other words, everyone's different. It is important for educators to understand the difference in their students' style so that they can implement best practice strategies into their daily activities, curriculum, and assessment. One of the most accepted understanding of learning style is that student learning style fall into three categories, which is visual, auditory, and kinesthetic.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Rashidah Nadia binti Zulkifli. Today I will be present about visual learning style. Visual learning style is about how to students accept and absorb the all information about their study. So the visual learning style is have two sub-channels, which is linguistic and spatial. Visual linguistics involves learning through the written language such as reading and writing tasks. From this, the student can remember what has been written down even if they do not read it more than once. Moreover, they like to write down direction and pay better attention to lecturers if they watch them. So that we can know the visual linguistic can make students to easy their study and make easy to remember something read or written by him. Meanwhile, for the visual spatial, it's about students have difficult with the written language and do better with charts, demonstration, video and other visual material. From this, they easily visually face and place by using their imagination and seldom get lost in new surroundings. It is because they have a stronger memory and imagination. That's all from me. I pass to the next presenter.
Hi everyone, my name is Ma Yiyue. I will share you how teacher helps visual learning style students. As a teacher, it's extremely important to understand learning styles that how they impact the students in classroom. Each student will have their own preferred learning style, and teachers can help create activities that cater to different learning styles to help more students learn effectively. Teachers can work to implement many visual learning strategies in their classrooms to help visual learners. It's vital for teachers to work to implement these kinds of visual techniques into their classrooms so students have many opportunities for learning. Some of the strategies include: first, using visual aids like images, diagrams, video. Second, grouping visual learners together during group projects so they can harness their stress. Allowing reflection time after lessons so visual learners can visualize their words. Encourage visual learners to color code their notes. If you are a science teacher, you may see benefits from this. incorporating color into presentations and assignments, giving writing instructions for assignments. This can be particularly beneficial for math teachers. Write to-do lists and agendas on the whiteboard so students who prefer visual styles can actually see the plan. Give time for reading in class so visual learners have the opportunity to learn better. Show students how to make vocabulary flashcards. Provide written feedback on assignments. This is a great opening for English teachers. What's more, there are some tips which help to integrate this style into students' learning environments. Include plenty of content in handouts to read after the learning session. Leave white space in handouts for note-taking. Post flip charts to show what will come and what has been presented. Emphasize key points to cue when takes notes. Eliminate potential distractions.
Hello everyone, my name is Li Xinhui. My partner Sophia and I will talk about auditory learning style. Auditory learners learn better when they can hear the information verbally, such as in music, films, studying in group, and using to help them to study. So, what's the features of auditory learners? First, auditory learners often talk to themselves. Auditory learners can talk to themselves and hear what they are saying to help them integrate what they are learning into understanding and remembering that information. In addition, talk to themselves can help auditory learners in language learning. For example, listen to texts you read to correct your pronunciation problems. Second, they also may move their lips and read out loud, because the ear learns more than the eye. Auditory learners are 50% more likely to remember information by reading aloud. Auditory learners are able to translate visual information into auditory information, so they can hear more clearly and learn better. For example, an auditory learner can recite words by spelling them out loud instead of writing them out. This will help them remember the words better. Third, they may have difficulty with reading and writing tasks. Auditory learners learn best through hearing. This means that auditory learners are more likely to follow verb instructions, whereas they are not good at tactile things, as they are able to receive only part of information by reading and writing. Fourth, they often do better talking to colleagues or type of recorder and hear what was said. Because when auditory learners communicate with others, verbal information helps them retain important information, especially when they have remembered many details. For example, put auditory learners in a group where they are willing to communicate with their peers to obtain information that is useful to them, and they will have more pleasure. Next, my partner will introduce it.
Good afternoon, doctor and everyone. My name is Liu Siqi. Auditory learners need to listen, speak, and interact in order to learn. There are some points for teachers to integrate auditory style into the learning environment. First, begin your material with a brief explanation of what is coming. Conclude with a summary of what has been covered. This is the old adage of tell them what they have going to learn, teach them and tell them what they have learned. Before class, the teacher should give a brief introduction to what the class will teach to guide the students. so that students have a basic understanding of the key points of this class. At the end of the lesson, the teacher should summarize the main points of the lesson so that students can consolidate what they have learned to help them fully grasp it. Second, use the Socratic method of lecturing by questioning learners to draw as much information from them as possible, and then fill in the gaps with your own expertise. In class, the teacher should prepare some questions about the knowledge taught to ask the students and call on the students to answer the questions actively. The teacher can check whether the students has really grasped the knowledge from the students' answers. Finally, the teacher gives feedback to the content of students' answers and supplements the content that students have missed. Third, include auditory activities. Leave plenty of time to debrief activities. This allows them to make connections of what they have learned and how it applies to their situation. Because auditory learners are good at socializing, teachers can organize curriculum activities with social elements, such as paired reading, group work, experiments, projects, and performances. During activities, they can well integrate what they have learned into practice and feel the joy of the learning. Fourth, have the learners verbalize the questions. Because auditory learners like to read study material aloud, teachers should encourage students to talk more in class. This means allowing students to repeat what the teacher has said in class or to ask questions actively. Fifth, develop an internal dialogue between yourself and the learners. Teachers should collect questions and puzzles that students still have about what they are learning and help them to solve them. For example, teachers could create WhatsApp groups where students can ask questions and teachers can answer them. In addition, teachers can record lessons so that students can listen to them repeatedly to understand them. As a conclusion, it's very helpful to know a student's learning style and to develop strategies to teach them. As long as auditory learners can correctly use learning methods, they will achieve great success in learning. Okay, next pass to my partner to introduce kinesthetic learning style. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good day to Doctor and all of my friends. My name is Farihatul Arisa Safia binti Razamin, and I will be presenting Kinesthetic learning style with Rafi. The definition of kinesthetic learning style is a student who learns best when shown simulations, presentations, and videos, or when moving around in a hands-on environment. Most kinesthetic learners prefer having something shown in front of them rather than just listening or visualize it. It has two subchannels, which are kinesthetic as in movement and tactile as in touch. They will lose concentration when they are learning with nothing in front of them. Some of these kinesthetic learners will take down notes for the sake of moving their hands, but some of them maybe cannot multitask, so they prefer to look at the materials. It is important for a teacher to prepare some materials that can be shown in the class in order to make these kinesthetic learners understand what the teacher is teaching. It is also important for a teacher to get to know their students about their learning styles so that the teachers are well prepared, and also to make sure that every student understands the lesson. That is all from me. I will be passing to Rafi to continue explaining about kinesthetic learning styles. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Rafi'i bin Chitpa, metric number D202010955583. Okay, in the kinesthetic learning style, we need to integrate the style into the learning environment, and there are many suggestions of methods that can be used by teacher to help learners in their class. Firstly, the teachers can use activities that get the learners up and moving, such as energizers or any simple movement that can help students like running or jumping at their place. Next, the teachers can play a music when appropriate during activities. Means when activities that involve students to move, the teachers can use music to support them. Next, the teachers can use colored markers to emphasize key points on flip charts or whiteboard. So the student can clearly see what the main points that they need to understand and memorize. The next method is the teachers can give frequent stretch breaks or brain breaks, and the teachers can provide toys to give them something to do with their hands. It will train the student's brain to think creatively in their life. Then the teachers can provide gum or candy which can avoid students become boring and clumsy in the class. The other ways is the teachers can provide highlighters, colored pens and or pencil to students to train them highlighting the main points in their books or so on. And the last method is the teachers can guide learners through visualization of complex tasks, such as having them transfer information from the text into the another medium such as a keyboard or a tablet.
Have you noticed that your style hobbies are different from those of your friends? Or how to learn faster in content courses? Some people will quickly access that subjects of being too difficult, but this is not always the case. One thing many people might overlook is their learning model. Suggestion of visual learners. Focus. This is very important and always polite. For visual learners, if your professor uses slides, observe the pictures and their meaning. Suggestion for auditory learners. If you think this will help and you have the professor's permission, you can record the letter to listening to it later. Suggestion for kinesthetic learners. For kinesthetic learners, handwriting and taking notes are very important. Visual learners learn best by seeing. They look to remember information or master knowledge by reading text, pictures, chats, videos, or other learning models. Auditory learners learn best by listening. They are more the listening models that likes listening to letters of repeating information aloud. Kinesthetic learners learn best by doing. They like to be able to move, touch something, or take part in hands-on tests in the process of learning. That's all for our group. Thank you.